The gospel world has been shaken to its very core. A storm is brewing. It's not just whispers in the pews or gossip at Sunday service. This is courtroom drama at the highest level. At 35 years old, Kardashian Franklin has finally stepped out of the shadows of his famous father and filed a legal lawsuit against gospel legend Kirk Franklin. And the allegations: explosive, emotional, the kind of claims that could fracture not just a family, but an entire legacy built on faith, music, and reputation. For years, fans have watched the tension between Kardashian and Kirk spill over on social media. Heated phone calls leaked, tearful interviews, explosive arguments caught on tape. But now, those years of pain and resentment have reached their breaking point. Court documents are reportedly in motion, and the accusations are already sending shockwaves through the church, the industry, and the fan base. Insiders claim the lawsuit isn't just about money, it's about betrayal, emotional abuse, and decades of secrets buried under the glittering surface of Kirk's gospel empire. Kardashian is allegedly ready to expose it all: leaked recordings, hidden family meltdowns, and receipts no one ever expected to see. And if what he's bringing to the courtroom is real, Kirk Franklin's pristine image could collapse overnight. The news didn't break quietly. It didn't come from a polite press release or a vague Instagram caption. It hit like a thunderclap across social media. Kardashian Franklin, now 35 years old, had officially filed a lawsuit against his father, gospel titan Kirk Franklin. Court documents hit the blogs within hours, stamped and signed, and the headlines screamed betrayal. This wasn't just a family drama. This was the kind of fallout that could shake the entire gospel industry to its knees. Insiders say the tension between father and son had been simmering for decades. We've seen glimpses before: leaked phone calls where Kirk cursed his son out, Kardashian crying in interviews about being misunderstood, explosive moments that fans brushed off as family stuff. But now Kardashian wasn't just speaking, he was filing. And the lawsuit itself, pages long, filled with accusations that no one expected to ever read in black and white. According to early reports, Kardashian is accusing Kirk of emotional manipulation, financial neglect, and even deliberately silencing him in the industry. One line from the leaked court filings went viral instantly: "I was treated not as a son, but as a burden to be erased." Those words alone sent Twitter into chaos. And then came the receipts. Bloggers quickly dug up what they claimed were leaked recordings Kardashian had kept for years. One clip circulating on Instagram within hours of the lawsuit filing allegedly captured Kirk yelling, "You'll never ruin my name. I built this and you'll never tear it down." The audio was grainy, but fans insisted the voice was unmistakably Kirk's. Kardashian's voice could also be heard, shaky, responding, "I'm not trying to ruin you. I just want the truth." The internet went into meltdown. Some fans were devastated, not Kirk, not the man who gave a stump. Others rushed to Kardashian's defense, tweeting, "He's been crying for help for years and nobody listened." Now look, the fan base split down the middle. Gospel Twitter versus gossip Twitter. And it was ugly. Insiders close to Kardashian told blogs that this lawsuit wasn't about money, but about validation. He wants his father to acknowledge the pain. He wants the world to know that behind the gospel empire, there's brokenness. Those words echoed across Instagram lives and YouTube reaction videos, sparking fiery debates about public image versus private reality. But money did come up. Leaked portions of the filing claimed Kardashian was suing for damages tied to lost opportunities and defamation. He reportedly accused Kirk of using his influence in gospel and music circles to blacklist him. One blogger claimed they'd seen emails where Kardashian's name was brought up for reality shows, only for producers to back out after pressure from powerful figures. Was Kirk involved? The lawsuit suggested yes. And then came the emotional bombshell. A tearful video of Kardashian allegedly filmed weeks before the filing surfaced online. In it, he said, "People don't know what it's like to be silenced by the man who gave you life. Imagine your father telling the world you're nothing while singing about love and forgiveness." The video was reposted thousands of times, with fans flooding the comments with prayers, support, and shock. Meanwhile, the gospel world itself reacted with stunned silence. Pastors, choirs, and fellow artists stayed quiet at first, but whispers started. One anonymous source told a gossip channel, "Everybody knows Kirk has a temper. The question is, how far did it go with Carrie-Anne?" And while the gospel community debated, the secular celebrity world jumped in too. Rappers, influencers, and reality stars began posting cryptic messages. One star tweeted, "Behind every perfect image is a story they don't want you to know." Fans immediately linked it to the Franklin drama, as if that wasn't enough. Alleged text messages between Carrie-Anne and Kirk leaked late that night. In them, Carrie-Anne begged, "Why can't you just love me the way you love the world?" The response, allegedly from Kirk, was cold. "I can't let you drag me down with your drama. My career is bigger than your feelings." The text spread like wildfire. True or fake, it didn't matter. The damage was done. Family insiders claim Kirk was furious. He allegedly told close friends the lawsuit was a betrayal beyond forgiveness. He feels like Carrie-Anne crossed a line that can never be uncrossed, one source said. Meanwhile, Carrie-Anne was said to be calm, even relieved, telling his circle, "For once, the world will hear me." Social media turned into a battlefield. On Instagram, gospel fans defended Kirk fiercely. "Don't touch the anointed." On TikTok, younger fans rallied around Carrie-Anne, creating emotional edits of his videos with captions like "Justice for Carrie-Anne." The generational divide became part of the story. Was this about protecting a legacy or exposing it? To make matters worse, another layer of betrayal emerged when insiders whispered that Carrie-Anne wasn't alone in this fight. Allegedly, a cousin had stepped forward to back him up, offering their own receipts about family meltdowns and cover-ups. If true, the lawsuit wasn't just Carrie-Anne versus Kirk anymore. It was the beginning of a full-scale family war. The cliffhanger of part 1 came when TMZ's tile outlets teased that exclusive footage from inside the Franklin household existed. Video clips allegedly showed years of arguments, meltdowns, and even Kirk slamming doors during fights with Carrie-Anne. The footage hadn't dropped yet, but blogs promised it was coming. Fans braced themselves for what could be the final blow to Kirk's carefully built gospel image. And if those videos were real, Kirk Franklin's crown as the king of gospel could shatter overnight. If the lawsuit filing cracked the facade, the next round of leaks smashed it wide open. Blogs went into overdrive when a well-known gossip site released what it claimed was exclusive footage from inside the Franklin household. The grainy videos, allegedly filmed years ago, showed heated arguments between Kirk and Carrie-Anne. One clip, just 47 seconds long, had the internet in shock. Kirk could be seen pacing a living room, his voice raised. "You will not embarrass me. You understand me? I built this with my blood, my sweat, and my tears." Meanwhile, Carrie-Anne, much younger in the video, shouted back, "I'm not trying to embarrass you. I just want you to see me, Dad." The footage ended abruptly. But that one exchange lit a firestorm online. Twitter exploded with reactions. "That's not just tough love. That's toxic." Another fan wrote, "All these years we thought Kirk was the saint, but behind closed doors, he's human, and maybe worse." Hashtags like #KirkExposed and #Justice for Carrie-Anne started trending globally within hours. More videos trickled out. In one, slamming doors echoed through a hallway as Carrie-Anne cried off camera, "Why is it always about your name, never about me?" In another, Kirk allegedly shouted, "You will not ruin my ministry with your foolishness." The pattern was clear. This wasn't a one-off fight. It was years of tension, recorded and now unleashed on the world. The emotional impact was devastating. Fans who grew up with Kirk's gospel anthems, songs about forgiveness, grace, and love, suddenly found themselves questioning everything. TikTok edits paired his uplifting lyrics with the leaked videos, creating a haunting contrast. One viral clip played "Imagine Me" over footage of Carrie-Anne's tearful voice in the background. The caption read, Imagine being ignored by the man who sings about love. Millions watched. Millions shared. As the internet spiraled, gospel insiders started breaking their silence. Anonymous choir members, former bandmates, and even ex-staffers spoke to blogs, painting a picture of a man under immense pressure to maintain a spotless image. One former assistant allegedly said Kirk was always terrified of scandal. He would do anything to keep the image clean, even if it meant shutting his own son out. But while critics piled on, others rushed to Kirk's defense. Several gospel legends posted cryptic messages. One wrote, "Be careful what you believe. Not every leak is the truth." Another added, "The devil loves division, especially in the church." Their words reignited the debate. Was Carry-On bravely exposing the truth? Or was he allowing bitterness to tear a family apart? And then came the most shocking betrayal of all. Carry-On's cousin spoke out. In a live interview with a YouTube gossip channel, the cousin dropped bombshell after bombshell. "This ain't new," they said. Carry-On's been silenced for years. He kept tapes because he knew one day nobody would believe him. The cousin went further, claiming there were nights Carry-On wasn't allowed in the house during family gatherings. Told to stay outside so Kirk's public image wouldn't be tarnished, the internet couldn't handle it. Fans were outraged, memes went viral. And suddenly the lawsuit wasn't just Carry-On's word versus Kirk's, it was family versus family. Relative versus relative, with receipts being hinted at daily. Meanwhile, in the courtroom, things were heating up too. Journalists who managed to get a glimpse of the filings said Carry-On's legal team had listed potential witnesses and not just relatives. Allegedly, 2 former gospel artists who once worked with Kirk were named. The idea that outsiders from the industry could testify sent shockwaves through the community. Was this lawsuit about to turn into a full-blown gospel expose? The public unraveling grew darker when social media began digging through Kirk's past interviews. Fans pulled up old clips of him talking about fatherhood, about breaking cycles of pain, about raising sons with love. "Look at this," one fan tweeted, sharing an old Kirk interview where he said, "My son will never feel what I felt." The comment section exploded. "But your son is crying on camera right now." The double life narrative gained traction fast. Blogs framed Kirk as living 2 realities. The gospel giant on stage versus the furious father behind closed doors. That contrast was so explosive it reached mainstream outlets, with talk shows dedicating entire segments to the lawsuit. Panelists debated whether this was the fall of a gospel legend or just a messy family fight going public. And then came the most viral leak yet. A voice memo allegedly from Kirk to Carry-On. In it, Kirk's voice, low and cold, said, "If you drag my name, I'll make sure you regret it. I'll make sure nobody listens to you." Fans froze. Critics called it damning proof of manipulation. Kirk's defenders claimed it was edited to sound worse than it was. But the fact that it existed at all made the lawsuit more explosive than anyone predicted. While the internet ripped itself apart, Carry-On himself took to Instagram Live, with tens of thousands watching. He spoke softly but firmly. "This isn't about money. This isn't about fame. This is about truth. I kept quiet for too long. I love my father. But love without truth isn't love at all." He broke down in tears midway through, the raw emotion only adding fuel to the fire. Clips of the live flooded Twitter, with fans calling it the most heartbreaking confession of the year. And just when it seemed the storm couldn't get bigger, gossip pages teased yet another bombshell. Emails allegedly proving Kirk had blocked Carry-On from opportunities in both television and music. Screenshots showed producers backing out after concerns about his image. The implication? Kirk had used his influence to bury his son's career by the end of that week. The Franklin family feud had gone from whispers to a global spectacle. Fans, celebrities, pastors, and gossip channels were all locked in. The central question wasn't just about the lawsuit anymore. It was about what kind of man Kirk Franklin really was, and whether his carefully built empire could withstand the storm. But the most shocking cliffhanger came late one night when a blog claimed they had obtained a full-length video of a family intervention gone horribly wrong. According to sources, the footage showed Kirk, Carrie-Anne, and the relatives in a screaming match that ended with Carrie-Anne storming out, yelling, "I'll see you in court." If that video dropped, it wouldn't just be a scandal. It would be the final nail in the coffin of the Franklin family's public image. And fans knew one thing. The war was far from over. The whispers about the intervention video turned into roars when, just days later, a gossip site dropped the footage. It was long, raw, and painful to watch. A shaky camera captured what appeared to be the Franklin family gathered in a living room. Tension filled the air from the very first second. Kirk sat at the head of the room, his voice calm but heavy. "Son, we need to fix this before it destroys us." But Carrie-Anne wasn't having it. He shot back, "You only want to fix it now because people are watching. Where was this energy when I was crying alone? Where was this when I begged you to see me?" The footage spiraled quickly. Voices overlapped. Relatives begged them to calm down, but neither man backed off. At one point, Kirk slammed his hand on the table and shouted, "This family has a name, and I will not let you ruin it." Carrie-Anne rose to his feet, trembling with rage, and screamed, "It's already ruined because of you." Seconds later, he stormed out, the camera catching him yelling, "See you in court." The clip ended there, raw, chaotic, and unforgettable. The internet went into meltdown. Millions watched the video within hours. Fans posted reactions in real time, tears streaming down their faces as they heard Carrie-Anne's pain. TikTok detectives stitched the clip with Kirk's gospel songs, calling the contrast the biggest hypocrisy of the decade. One viral comment summed it up. "We grew up with Kirk saving our souls, but his own son was breaking in silence. The gospel world couldn't stay silent anymore. Big names began taking sides." One popular choir director tweeted, "We can't preach love and ignore accountability." Meanwhile, legendary gospel singer defended Kirk, writing, "The devil loves family division. Pray, don't gossip." Entire church congregations debated the scandal during Sunday services. It wasn't just a lawsuit anymore. It was a cultural reckoning. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed the Franklin household was in shambles. Some relatives supported Carrie-Anne, offering to testify on his behalf. Others stood firmly with Kirk, accusing Carrie-Anne of betrayal. The family that once stood as a symbol of gospel unity was now fractured into pieces. And then came another twist. Leaked documents suggested that Carrie-Anne wasn't just suing for emotional damages, but also for control of certain business assets. The claim was that his name and likeness had been used without permission in promotions tied to Kirk's empire. If true, this lawsuit wasn't just about hurt feelings, it was about money, image, and legacy. Fans were stunned. Some accused Carrie-Anne of trying to cash in. Others argued it proved Kirk had been silencing him, not just emotionally, but financially too. The internet lit up with hashtags like #KirkVS Carrie-Anne and #FamilyOnTrial, turning the lawsuit into a trending topic across every platform. Meanwhile, Kirk himself finally broke his silence. In a carefully crafted Instagram video, he sat alone at a piano speaking directly to the camera. His voice shook as he said, "I'm not perfect. I've failed, but I've always loved my son. I will keep fighting for my family, even if it's in court." He ended the video by playing a soft melody, tears streaming down his face. The post racked up millions of views, but the comments were divided. Some praised his vulnerability. Others accused him of performing for sympathy. Carrie-Anne's response came hours later. In a fiery Instagram live, he addressed his father's video head-on. Love without accountability is not love. You don't get to cry at a piano while ignoring decades of pain. His raw emotion left fans torn. Was this the sound of a son finally breaking free, or a family ripping itself apart in public? As the trial date loomed closer, more celebrities chimed in. Some gospel stars begged for reconciliation, while secular artists openly sided with Carrie-Anne. One rapper tweeted, "Even gospel families hide demons. Respect to Carrie-Anne for speaking his truth." The lines between faith, fame, and family blurred as the case spiraled into a full-blown cultural event. But the most shocking twist came just days before the first court appearance. Leaked court filings revealed that Kerry-Ann had listed Kreese Franklin, his own grandmother, as a potential witness. Fans gasped. If the family matriarch was ready to speak, what would she reveal? Would she defend Kirk or support Kerry-Ann? Insiders claim she had seen everything over the years and might hold the key to the truth. The possibility of a grandmother testifying against her son in defense of her grandson made headlines worldwide. "This is bigger than a lawsuit," one blog wrote. "This is generational trauma on trial. This is generational trauma on trial." Social media braced for impact. Fans prepared for the courtroom showdown like it was a championship game. Lives would be streamed, gossip blogs promised daily updates. And everyone knew the trial wasn't just about Kirk versus Kerry-Ann. It was about faith, family, power, and truth, colliding in the public eye. The cliffhanger hit when paparazzi caught Kerry-Ann walking into court for a preliminary hearing. Cameras swarmed as he looked directly into the lens and said, "It's time the world hears what really happened." Minutes later, Kirk arrived, head bowed, refusing to speak. The image of father and son walking into the same courthouse from different entrances sent chills through fans. The stage was set. The lawsuit wasn't just a legal battle anymore. It was the unraveling of a gospel dynasty. And the world was watching every second, because when the trial began, only one question mattered. Would the truth finally set them free, or would it destroy them forever? And that's where the story stands right now. A family torn apart. A gospel legacy on the line, and the truth hanging in the balance of a courtroom showdown. The leaks, the meltdowns, the recordings, the intervention footage, it all paints a picture more explosive than any reality show could script. But remember, this isn't fiction. This is the Franklin family. And the next chapter could make or break everything Kirk has built over decades. The world is divided. Some say Kerry-Ann is brave for finally standing up. Others claim he's betraying his father for clout. But what if both are true? What if this lawsuit is the only way to rip open years of silence, secrets, and shadows hiding behind the gospel spotlight? And what happens if Kerry-Ann really has even more receipts, emails, witnesses, recordings that haven't dropped yet? Will Kirk's empire crumble? Or will the courtroom turn the tables and expose Kerry-Ann instead? This isn't just a lawsuit. This is generational trauma, faith, family, and fame colliding headfirst. And the fallout won't just hit the Franklins, it's already changing the way people see gospel music, celebrity faith, and even fatherhood itself. Now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Kerry-Ann is telling the truth? Or do you think Kirk is being unfairly targeted? Whose side are you on in this family war? Drop your thoughts in the comments because, trust me, your theory might be the one that predicts the next bombshell. And don't just sit back, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications right now. Because the next leak, the next testimony, the next twist in this saga, it's coming. And you do not want to be the last to know.